Important headlines talking about the Basto nightclub explosion that led to the death of at least 16 persons and 8 others seriously injured, as well as the victory of Francis Ngannou. We shall dwell on those two major headlines as relayed by the newspapers today in the country. And equally, the Lions will be playing today at 8 p.m. Cameroon time with the Comoros Island. And we are told that everything is already set for the Indomitable Lions to grab that victory that will take them to the next level. Reasons why all of us today, we are solidly behind the Indomitable Lions to ensure that the victory is taken this or tonight, as they will be taking on the Comoros team. Gwadys Bomotonguina is here with us. Let's find out what the French newspaper gather for us this Monday morning. Bonjour Gwadys et bienvenue.
Merci beaucoup Lasha. Bonjour à toi. Bonjour à vous une fois de plus. Merci de rester fidèle à Débrief, votre émission bilingue de revue de presse sur ma Media Prime et télévision. Alors ce matin, nous allons débuter avec le journal L'Info à chaud qui parle du match des Lions indomptables face aux Comores et qui ont donc plusieurs de leurs joueurs testés positifs au Covid-19. Le journal propose donc le pronostic d'une victoire pour les Lions indomptables. Les détails sont donc en page 3 de ce journal. En page 2, le journal nous parle de l'incendie au Leaf Nightclub à Yaoundé, ce qui s'est réellement passé dans ce nightclub ce week-end. Les détails sont donc en page 2 de ce journal. Nous continuons ce matin avec Mutation qui nous parle lui aussi de la boîte d'horreur avec au moins 16 morts dans l'incendie du Leaf Nightclub et les circonstances du drame. Les détails sont donc en page 5 de ce journal. En page 12, le journal parle de la victoire de Francis Ngannou, le lion indomptable de la boxe UFC. Nous poursuivons ce matin avec le journal Le Jour qui parle lui aussi des 16 morts dans la boîte de nuit à Yaoundé. Les détails sont en page 2 et 3 de ce journal. En page 5, le journal lui aussi nous parle de la victoire de Ngannou, de Francis Ngannou, le fantastique. Nous continuons ce matin avec le journal Le Messager qui nous parle lui aussi du drame du Leaf Nightclub, le premier bilan officiel de l'incendie du nightclub au quartier Bastos à Yaoundé. 16 morts et 8 blessés graves. Les détails sont en page 2 de ce journal. Nous terminons ce matin avec cet avis de décès. Monsieur Alain Dipou, ex-rédacteur en chef du Messager, grand reporter et conseiller du directeur de la publication, et Madame Ramatou Dipou ont la douleur d'annoncer le décès de leur oncle maternel, bel-oncle survenu le 11 janvier 2022 des suites de maladie. Le corps de Nganchou Sangou Thomas sera donc mis en bière à la morgue de l'hôpital de Douala et transféré à la paroisse EEC de Newbell le jeudi 27 janvier 2022. Départ pour Fombot le même jour à 24 heures. La suite du programme vous sera donc communiquée ultérieurement. Mesdames, Messieurs, c'est ici que nous nous arrêtons pour cette revue de presse en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha.
Thank you very much, Bomotonguina. Gwadys, our condolences to the very pioneer guest of the brief, Alain Dipou, who lost a brother there. And let's kickstart this morning with Municipal Updates newspaper. Municipal Updates is interested in the victory of Francis Ngannou and the deadly nightclub explosion in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon, in its major headline, Black and White Sunday in Cameroon. The paper says the nation was yesterday caught between celebrating the victory of UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou and mourning the death of at least a dozen after a fire outbreak at a nightclub in Yaoundé. The Horizon newspaper is also interested in the tragic incident in Yaoundé with focus on the list of 16 persons who perished in the nightclub explosion. The paper is also interested in the victory of Cameroon's heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. According to the paper, Ngannou retains heavyweight title. Biya and Cameroonians celebrate victory. The Post newspaper on its part is also reporting on the victory of Francis Ngannou. The paper writes that Ngannou beats Ngannou, retains UFC 270 belt. And on page 2, the paper reports that Army Colonel and many others killed in Yaoundé nightclub explosion. Colonel Bilwa, alongside a dozen others, died in what is termed a suspected bomb blast in Live's nightclub situated in the Bastos neighborhood in Yaoundé, the political capital of Cameroon. Colonel Bilwa is the one in charge of security at the Yaoundé-Simalène International Airport. The incident is said to have occurred in the early hours of Sunday, January 23, 2022 at about 3 a.m. Alongside Colonel Bilwa Ekenge, Patrice was Dr. Fane Mahamat Epouze Usman and some military officers who are still to be identified, according to the newspaper. On page 3, the paper is telling us that President of the Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission, Peter Mafani Musonge, has hinted that hate speech perpetrators will be effectively punished. As we are told, the paper is also telling us this morning on page 7 that government's decision to reduce school hours plunges the 2021-2022 school year into chaos. That was the Post newspaper telling us about the decision of the government of the Republic of Cameroon to reduce school hours in Cameroon that has plunged the academic year 2021-2022 into chaos. We end with a News Watch newspaper which focuses this morning on the Yaoundé nightclub explosion. According to the paper, over 16 persons were killed in the Yaoundé nightclub Inferno. 8 others are severely injured in the fatal blaze at the Bastos neighborhood, which is home to diplomatic institutions and international organizations. Let's talk about AFCON. The paper writes Comoros in complicated situation ahead of Cameroon's Cameroon clash. We are told by Newswatch that 12 team members hit by COVID-19. 2 main goalkeepers are unavailable. And on page 2 of this edition of the said newspaper, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees seeks 34.5 billion francs CFA to support Cameroonian refugees in the Republic of Chad. Thank you for staying with us, televiewers. Let's continue with the discussions in the studio, and we are receiving, as usual, a human rights defender, Amadou Tante, who is always with us here. And equally, we'll be having Maître Alex Ndive, who is the leader of British Cameroon National Party, a party that believes so much in the mass election of parliamentarians into the parliament of Cameroon to change the political or the current political narrative. Let's begin with you, Amadou Tante. Welcome once again. Yesterday, Cameroonians woke up to 2 news, the victory of Francis Ngannou and the explosion at the nightclub in Bastos in Yaoundé. What is your feeling about this issue of the nightclub? Are we lagging behind on safety measures in our nightclubs? What is happening in Cameroon?
Well, good morning and happy new week, Mr. Lasha. Good morning to the telespectators of my media Prime Television. At least the situation is very terrible, though it's a mixed blessing. Like Reddy said, the case of Francis Ngannou, which is a big victory for Cameroon. It's really encouraging. What he did is just encouraging, considering his situation or the way we are being told that the stages we are being told he passed through before he get away to where he is. Just to encourage some of the Cameroonians to tell us that at least there is always hope. We should always believe in ourselves, believe in what we think we can do. We should not be distracted by whosoever or whatsoever situations. Secondly, with regard to the situation of the nightclub, it's really regrettable. The situation is sudden. At least we of conscience African extend our heartfelt condolences to all the Cameroonians that have lost their life and those who were injured with regard to the ugly incident. While praying that
how was a popping of a champagne transformed into an explosion? Question many Cameroonians are still asking. As per the communique of the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson of Cameroon, we heard or we read what he said. How was that possible for a mere champagne, popping of a mere champagne to be transformed into into an explosion.
This is what we call a question of $1,000 million, because I don't understand. Well, maybe because I'm not used to champagne to know it well. I don't know, because those who are saying that maybe are those who are used to champagne. I could say, but
those are the images with the fireworks, as you can see on your screen.
So I think there are images of to that effect. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the first time they are doing such a thing, because it's something that is being done regularly in nightclubs and all the rest. But when we are being told that this is what happened, we cannot really tell well anything could have happened, because we cannot rule out any possibility, any other thing could have happened, because some people are talking of something else. They're talking of fire incident that was incited as a result of short circuit. Other talking of this issue of champagne. We're talking of so many kind of things, because some people are even suggesting that it might be a planned act. So we cannot really tell, but what happened has happened. So what happened has happened, as I rightly said.
But what in Western worlds and other developed countries, when things like this happen, what the government does is to investigate and prevent further occurrences. What is the government of Cameroon? What would be a message for the government of Cameroon? Because most of these nightclubs, when you get there, we don't have exits. We don't have those safety policy being respected in most of the nightclubs around.
Well, Pelin once said, first of all, that as per the communique of Minister of Communication, he made it very clear that investigation has been open. Even though we are praying that should be a real investigation that has been open, and will continue until we have the result. It should not be like other investigation we used to hear that has been open even for 100 years.
The top military officials who died in that incident. Colonel Bilua, who is heading the security unit at the Simalen International Airport in Yaoundé, which should be a call for serious concern, though the lives of other Cameroonians matter.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted to say, because it doesn't matter whether you're a colonel or you're a director of the Ministry of Public Health or whatsoever. The life of every Cameroonian matters. For our lives are equal, no matter our status, be it social or political status. So it's the life of each and everyone that has lost his or family members or his own life there is very, very important.
Okay, Gladys.
C'est quand même bizarre et un peu vraiment bizarre de se rendre compte qu'une situation pareille se produit dans une boîte de nuit. Et on remarque que ce n'est pas une boîte de nuit de n'importe quel standard, parce qu'on regarde le type de personnes qui se retrouvaient à l'intérieur. On peut dire que c'est une boîte de nuit des riches.
And also at a very strategic neighborhood,
à Bastos.
Home to diplomatic institutions and international organizations.
Well, I don't think that one really matters. When it says, some of us would say that it might be, let's say, something natural, something unforeseen, which is normal to happen everywhere. Because not even Cameroon here, where such things are happening even in developed countries. Because sometimes we used to blame the government on everything. Because not everything that the government needs to.
The government is not the owner of the nightclub.
No, sometimes there are some certain things like what you just said here, that there are no exit and all that. The government is supposed to check that. There are some particular people within the government side that are supposed to check to make sure that these people respect all the rules and regulations.
It means you care less about the lives of Cameroonians.
Sometimes some of the Cameroonians just want their money, so that's why the government was always come into in such all sorts of activities to make sure that they investigate very well, to make sure that all the rules and regulations of all sorts of things are respected.
On a une organisation qui s'occupe de la norme. On a la norme au Cameroun, mais comment on va expliquer qu'une boîte de nuit de cette envergure n'a pas de système de sécurité?
That is exactly what I was saying, that even the government has a role to play, same as the owner of the nightclub that has also a role to play. It's a collective responsibility for all the different stakeholders that are supposed to do. When something as such is open, these people we are talking about they need to go straight to the area, make sure that they investigate. Cameroon here, what is common here is just this issue of bribery. Sometimes when people come, they realize there's a problem, they give them bribe to go, but it's the lives of those who are enjoying that nightclub, who are going frequently to that nightclub that is at stake. Because when these people have taken their money, has gone away, and the risk now falls on the consumers or the clients of that nightclub.
This is not only with nightclubs, even some public buildings. When you get to some halls, in some public buildings, you begin to ask yourself question: if an incident occur here, how will people get themselves? No safety, management or policy put in place in such buildings, where if there is an incident or a fire incident, people will be able to leave the building safely without probably jumping from from top of the building to fall.
I think that goes with the same thing I just said, because normally, as I rightly said, the responsibilities of such things are shared, because the government too is involved, any other structure that is work to that effect is involved, and the owner of the building too is involved. So when you are doing anything as such, they need to take some certain measures in consideration. And when you are building a house, I'm sure that there's a particular ministry that is in charge of all those things. They need to make sure that they go closer to these people to verify very well, to be assured to be rest assured that all the different stages or all what is supposed to be done as with regard to town planning and with regard to the way the house as such, and depending on the structure, the kind of structure has been respected. So it's very, very important. At least we do all this time to kind of thing to protect the lives of Cameroonians from being lost in such unfortunate incidents.
Jusqu'ici, les Camerounais n'arrivent pas à vraiment digérer, certains Camerounais n'arrivent pas à digérer que ce soit l'ouverture d'une bouteille de champagne qui ait créé une explosion. Ils se disent que soit il y a eu une bombe là-bas, ou soit alors
maybe the wrong fireworks, maybe the fireworks was made with a bomb with explosive, or we don't know.
I think since first of all,
and this is not the first case. Here in Douala, a few months ago, 2 ladies died in a neighborhood here in Douala, just from they were manipulating the fireworks. Okay, with regard to reasons, well, just all what we have been told are just mere rumors. Sometimes, I know the first thing here is that our government, in many incidents, always make sure that they don't tell Cameroonians the real thing that has happened in issues as such. But we still have whistleblowers. I think as time goes on, we have whistleblowers. Cameroonians defend, or investigators in Cameroon depend mostly on whistleblowers for information, since the government is not open to give them more information or to tell them the reality of what is happening. So we are still waiting for the outcome of this thing. So that the other nightclubs should make sure that they look into such situation on their own case to make sure that they are not exposed at risk of anything as such. Well, Metro Alex, I don't know if you are there. Hello, Metro. Can you hear us? Unfortunately, we have difficulties connecting with Metro Alex, who is joining us. Apparently is in some kind of difficulties, as we know COVID-19 has hit that team, which is will be playing with Cameroon there tonight. I don't know, is it a plus for the team, the Cameroonian team?
Well, so I think it might be a plus for Cameroonian teams, and it's equally regrettable.
And bad news for
the Comoros. It's really a regrettable situation because normally
but
last time
so many teams that complained that you know, the COVID-19 test was not rightly done, and some even protested where CAF had to step in and say no, hey, the thing was conducted by an independent medical firm that had got nothing to do with the government of Cameroon.
Well, that's what I was really thinking, because normally we used to know that the Cameroonians, everything that is done in Cameroon is done in a mafia way. So, but with regard to this particular situation, we were told that it's an independent group of people that were created by CAF or made by CAF to make sure that they oversee that the tests are conducted fair, clean and fair, with a lot of transparency and without any unfairness. So I don't, with this regard to this case, it's really regrettable for these people, because COVID-19 is really as regrettable for these people that so the thing is happening. So I don't think anybody should be blamed here, but it maybe those who are to blame are the players who never respected the rules and regulations that were laid down to be respected with regard to avoid the infection of being infected with the COVID-19.
Okay. Before we go, I don't know if Metro Alex has finally connected with us to get his reaction before we leave the studio. Metro Alex. Can you hear us? We have issues today connecting with Metro Alex, who is joining us from London as usual. Thank you for coming, Amadou Tante. We thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure having you to share your opinion on some of the burning issues that we have in Cameroon today.
It's always a pleasure for me to be your guest.
Thank you to televiewers of My Media Prime Television for watching this very first edition of the program for the week that was produced by Christain, Tebong. We were Bomotonguina, Gwadys, and myself, Lasha Kingsley. Allez les lions. Bye-bye.